Hello everyone, it's Lisa, the Mindful Psychotherapist, and today's video segment is going to be about EMDR therapy, or better known as eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. Just kidding. A lot of people don't always know what it stands for, but that's what it stands for. As you can see, EMDR is a much shorter and easier thing to say. So this week, I have been posting a little bit of information in relationship to EMDR. I have included a little segment on what Calm Place is, which is a resourcing tool often used in EMDR, which can also be used as an assessment tool. That was Monday's post. Tuesday's post was related to phase 4 in treatment, or what we like to call reprocessing. That was loaded with information, and I wanted to do a specific post just all about that because a lot of people often think of EMDR and that's what comes to mind is phase 4. But in yesterday's post, I talked about all 8 phases. And so it's really important that I want to mention when it comes to EMDR, it is so much more than just the reprocessing phase. And so this is where a lot of misconceptions can come into place. And also sometimes people's experiences might not be as great because they are working maybe with a therapist that doesn't use as much of the other phases that we might need to help support us when it comes to trauma therapy. So I haven't explained so much in terms of what EMDR is used for. Primarily, it is a trauma-based model. That's the main thing that it is used for. But it can also help in alleviating anxiety, depression, and other things, not just with trauma. Now, when it comes to trauma, I do want to say the biggest way that I have found it the most helpful is because sometimes we have coping skills and tools that we know how to use and we want to use them, but for whatever reason, we just remain stuck in certain situations and we can't seem to make progress past a certain thing. And so a lot of people, let's say, go to talk therapy and they find it helpful, but unfortunately, it just doesn't give them exactly, all of what they need to really make that change that they might need in their life or really see that impact in the results, let's say. And so EMDR is a really great model because it might be that there's some other subconscious things going on or on a deeper level that EMDR can address that talk therapy really honestly just can't really address. So that's really why I like to use it as not just specifically for trauma per se, like big T traumas or life-threatening situations, but can also be used for things that maybe we've experienced early on in our life that have created some limiting core belief. That's what today's post was on this morning. So again, if you haven't read that, please go ahead and do so. That these things are based on situations that we experience that cause some type of negative cognition about ourselves. So sometimes it might be, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, or I'm a failure, or there's something wrong with me, or it might be related to safety, I'm not safe, or maybe power and control, like I'm helpless and powerless. And if you really get to the root of the issue, which is really why I love this model, then we can really start the healing from that place. And when you move from there, then all the other things can kind of fall into place. So maybe I had a negative experience when I was younger. Maybe I was bullied and, that created that feeling of unworthiness. Or maybe I felt like I didn't really get as much attention from one parent as I did from the other, or from neither parent. Or maybe, I was given the message that I wasn't smart enough. Maybe I didn't excel at school and I saw other people in my family being able to excel in those areas. But whatever the issue was or the experience that I had, it created some type of bond or some type of neural connection in my brain that relates those types of situations to my unworthiness or my, lack of being good enough. And so what happens for a lot of people is in their current life, they're going around and being triggered by these things, which may be conscious or unconscious, and they are living in this negative cycle. So they might not be able to succeed, or even if they do succeed, they feel like they're still a failure in some way. Maybe they often feel very anxious, or they take on a lot in their lives, or they find themselves just in these repeated patterns again and again. And again, maybe they've done talk therapy and they know, like, I shouldn't be doing this, or this isn't healthy for me, but for whatever reason, they keep finding themselves in that same cycle. So EMDR can be really helpful for that. So it's not just big T traumas, but also little t traumas, and really breaking that neural connection, or kind of dismantling that, and building a more adaptive, a healthier connection with ourselves. So really on that deep level. And this is really a lot of why I love this model